Heavy Radio, episode 28. Back at it again. The sun is shining and the metal is out. Eric is here with you guys as always with my friend Marco. Marco, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Just hyped on WrestleMania and just trying to, figure out what Steven Seagal movie I want to watch after the podcast.
There you go. That's a good choice. What are the top runners right now? Above the Law?
I was
Siege?
thinking, just what is it? Exit Wounds with DMX. Rest in peace.
Oh shit!
Rest in power.
Yeah, man, honor him. That's some cool shit. Yeah, I'm trying to just survive the day. I went to the beach for the first time. Forgot about that. We've been in our apartment a lot, and so I went out to the beach and got a sunburn. One of the worst I've had in a while. And you can notice that I'm leaning forward in my chair. That is so my back doesn't touch it, and I start screaming. So if you hear, or anyone listening to this hears me start screaming mid-podcast, that's probably what it is.
So I get this motherfucker some aloe vera.
I need some aloe vera and some water to hydrate. But before we get into hydration, we can roll into some news.
Yeah, I got heavy metal news. It doesn't get much more metal than this. Have you heard about that some of Lemmy's closest friends have been receiving some items recently? So Ricky Rackman was actually the first one to kind of make it public. He showed a picture on social media of a golden bullet that he received engraved with Lemmy's name. So before he died, Lemmy had this plan to take some of his ashes and put it in bullets and then to send it to some of his closest friends. So I guess Ricky Rackman was the one that kind of made it public that that's been going on. But so yeah,
that's crazy.
After killed by death, made into bullets, Lemmy.
That's pretty metal. Metal even after going to the Metal Hall of Fame. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, and someone could theoretically get killed by a Lemmy bullet.
This is true.
That
still dangerous.
If you really have like some new kind of monster, that might be the way to kill it. Kill it with the Lemmy bullet.
Yeah, I would definitely put that in the top ranking for if you have to do monster hunting. I feel like you have a good shot. That's rad. I got some news from the Megadeth camp. For you Megadeth fans out there, I'm sure you know they've been working in the studio, and they said they're in the final hours of production for their new album, the follow up to 2016's Dystopia. So we're definitely excited over here. They've been releasing little teases here and there over the process, but sounds like they're down the last stretch, so very excited. Could use some new Megadeth tunes.
I thought the last album was strong as fuck, and I think Kiko's guitar playing with Dirk's drumming could be, one of the strongest Megadeth lineups. It's at least in the running, and gives the others a run for the money. And also, I saw some stuff from David Ellefson where he was saying it's kind of the first album where he really felt like they didn't have any like pressure to just get it done at a certain time, so they just kind of been coming from a different perspective to just keep going until it feels strong. And so yeah, hopefully that turns out to be a good thing.
Yeah, I remember it was originally rumored to come out in 2019, so he has health stuff and then everything else that's been going on. So yeah, it's cool that it's going to be here. It seems like it's definitely like a labor of love on this one, so we shall see. What's the next story you have, my friend?
Okay, this one sounds like April. I thought at first it was an April Fool's little pull on your leg, Josh, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. It looks like there's multiple sources, and it wasn't on April 1st. A dating show being produced by Meatloaf called I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That. And so Meat is is doing this thing where it's a show where couples are tested on their dating limits via a series of challenges designed to test how well they work together. In other words, to find out if there's anything they won't do for love.
I would have sworn this was a joke article, but now that you've laid the synopsis at me, I would watch it.
I hope
I
it
would watch it.
happens. I hope.
Does Meat host it?
I think so. I mean, it sounds like he's hands on.
That's intense. Yeah, I wonder who, because they have to literally decide on things that they would do and not do for love. So we're gonna see it for real. 92 and strong.
Meat. This song's about Meredith Baxter Burton. It's not about Splinter Wooden-Eye.
I love reality shows. They're crazy and amazing.
Oh yeah, I still remember some of the zaniest. What was that? You got the one with Scott Ian and Sebastian Bach. That was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And then that one where it's just random people living in a house, and it was like Vern Troyer, like Mini Me, and fucking
Yeah.
MC Hammer and Vince Neil or some shit.
What
And Vince
was
Neil
that?
was like taking a shit or something, and it was taking too long, and they were getting upset. Mini Me was like peeing in the corner. And then there's like the Flavor of Flav one where like some chick took a shit in his house or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. It gets
VH1.
wild. That's how,
VH1 got nuts in the mid 2000s.
it's an interesting thing, like to wonder how much is like real and not real, and what is reality. We don't know.
And the combination of both. Yeah, that was VH1 was really on one for the 2000s. Their reality show. And let us not forget Fear Factor
Mm.
and what we would do for Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's come a long way since Fear Factor.
Yes. Speaking of that reality show with Scott Ian, Scott Ian's band Anthrax is celebrating their 40th anniversary, starting back in 1981. Charlie Benante chimed in a recent interview saying that something around maybe June or July, or his words, that they're going to do something. Looks like they're planning a live stream, something like that, to play some songs they haven't played before or haven't played in a long time. So I would guess that means we're going to probably see some special guests on that with a big event like 40th anniversary. So I'm really excited. The Metallica one I remember being amazing for what that must have been like the 30th anniversary. So if this is anything like that, just some crazy B-sides and guest stars, I think this could be really amazing.
Neil Turbin and John Bush and that guy that took a upper decker in the tour bus that was in the band for like 24 hours. Probably not going to be him.
He won't make it.
No,
but
I was
the others may return.
Earlier about that. Let me tell you something, Joe Rogan. I was thinking about like if I ever was on the Joe Rogan podcast, I would just like keep making him talk about Fear Factor for like 3 hours. Be like, yo, let's bring it back to when people had to like eat animal anus and penis and
it's always the junk. It's always that part. They always went right for it, or bugs.
Snakes and spiders.
Or bug penises.
Why'd it have to be snake? Or snake, yeah, or some combination of something creepy and its
genitalia. Penis. I'd take snakes over spiders any day. If they told me, if Joe Rogan told me I had to be in a glass thing of spiders,
I've seen motherfuckers like go into like holes in the desert where there's rattlesnakes, and like as long as you don't fuck with them, they cool, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I saw a video recently on Instagram of in Australia, of course, where the guy went to use his door handle on his car and he touched something, and then the cops came and it was a giant like man-eating spider type thing crawled out from underneath the handle.
In Australia? No. Like where there's flooding, like I guess the spiders just like come in huge fucking armies of spiders to try to find dry land and just come in people's houses and shit. And then
I'm the dude from Friday on that. No.
And then
I don't want that.
Yeah. And I guess in Houston when there was flooding, there was fire ants, so like you'd like think you're like getting something you can climb up on, and then it's like this huge like
Surprise.
piece of like timber that's got like a bunch of fire ants on it, just coming at you down the flood.
I think I just go back in the water, or we'd all go together. I'm taking these fire ants with me.
Do you choose horribly bacteria infested water or board full of fire ants?
I never liked these games. I was never good at them.
There's no
I
good
won't
choice.
play your game. I won't play your Saw 3 level
Do you want
game.
to? You want to play a game?
I'm not doing it.
No, I do not want to play a game. Creepy puppet
Won't play
dude on
that.
a tricycle. No, I do
Yeah,
not. I would
that's
not
creepy
like.
itself.
I don't want to play a game, Mr. Princess Bride, motherfucker.
No. No
Danny
thanks.
Glover. He thought he somehow he should have been too old for that shit, but he did it anyway. Got killed. What the fuck, man?
You
He
have
was-
to
he was too old for that.
Seesaw.
Seesaw. What
Seesaw. That was their ads for a while.
puns? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It was a pun.
I remember because I had so much I didn't like it. Like it must be Saw. If it's Halloween, it must be Saw.
Man,
It's
the
like a
first
past
one
scene.
was pretty great. They killed that shit real quick, but the first one, I still can appreciate. And it
The
was
first one.
the
Was
best acting and the best cast of like any of them. It just went downhill.
Good. Yeah, I could watch Saw 1 tonight. I'd be cool with that if it was on a horror marathon playlist. But everything, I don't know.
This actually wasn't one of my news stories, but that just reminded me of it. I saw this thing where Robert Englund gave his vote to Kevin Bacon to take on the role of Freddy Krueger.
Okay. I recently saw Kevin Bacon make homemade popcorn on TikTok.
He's
That's
been.
the last time I've
He's
seen
got
him.
like, what's he have? He's got some animals that he's always hanging out with. Are they like goats or something?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, Kevin
I
Bacon
can see it.
is all up on your TikTok.
I could see him being creepy. I could see him go. He was in Hollow Man and Tremors.
Oh yeah.
So he's had some pedigree. He was still creepy in Hollow Man, even though it wasn't a great movie. I digress. What's your next news story?
Let's see. So Jason Becker, his family shared some good news. He returned home after being hospitalized last week and treated for a bacterial infection. So Becker's been battling Lou Gehrig's disease, and so he had a rapid heart rate and stuff. So people were worried about him, but his family posted that he'd been released from the hospital and he was back home. He appreciates the continued love and support. And I know Dragon Force guitarist Herman Lee had been organizing special events for Jason on his Twitch channel. So I don't know if that's ended or if that's still going on, but I'm sure there's some way you can contribute to that if you want. Dragon Force guitarist Herman Lee's Twitch channel was doing some fundraising efforts for Jason Becker. And man, those I re-listened to those Cacophony albums recently, and that was some kick-ass shit, man.
Yeah, I literally listened to the song "Floating World" while driving around yesterday or 2 days ago in the car, and yeah, great songs, great, ridiculously good playing. And yeah, I saw Herman on Ola England's YouTube show. He came on to talk about the fundraisings, but that was the last I'd heard. So that's good news on Jason Becker because it was sounded pretty scary there for a bit. So that's good that he is home. So, but yeah, I do believe some of those. I believe there's still ways to contribute. So, if you want to out there, let's see. Next story I had. This one was pretty exciting. Looks like Dave Grohl has a new documentary out, and this one is called "What Drives Us," and so it's basically looks like a documentary on just the road life for musicians, talking about those early days for some of these bigger bands and bands that are out there still going show to show. Will be soon. So they have some guests like Ringo Starr, The Edge, Steven Tyler, Slash and Duff, Lars. So there's definitely some big artists on here. Guests starting to talk about their days on the road. So I definitely want to see this. It's on Amazon Prime. It should be coming out this month. But it looks exciting. It's, I guess, the same crew that put together his last documentary on um, the studio. I forget the name of it at the moment, but it was about the studio they worked in. So that was had a really good quality to it. So if it's of that tier, then I'm definitely excited for this. So I think we've all had some of those touring adventures and touring stories. So it's fun to see it and kind of look at what makes people keep going. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
definitely can relate to that.
I know how crazy things got on just minimal, situations and DIY stuff. So I can only imagine, the stories like that Ulrich would have, or any number of those people, really.
Yeah. So it looks pretty exciting. So if you have Amazon Prime, like I said, it'll be out this month, but I'm sure it'll be out to on demand after that.
Dee Snider and his family just wrapped filming an appearance on Celebrity Family Feud.
Oh
Um,
shit!
so when asked, Dee said, "Who's the opposing family?" And he said, "Terry Bradshaw and family."
That's a hell of a combo.
That is, you got Captain Howdy and Terry Bradshaw.
10-10-220 himself.
Man,
Remember that
yeah,
one, kids?
we've come a long way. Look at how far we've come from
Look at us.
numbers that you put in phones to
Yep.
call people where they pay for the call.
TB Bradshaw.
Kids will not even know what we're talking
Yes,
about.
that
I
was
was
from
thinking
old,
about that with
the old hoods.
with like jobs that I've had and we've had, like when you tell like your kids shit like that, it's like they even know like what a movie theater is. Will they know what Blockbuster was? A video
Mhm.
game store? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, we'd take cash and print out paper tickets, and then you'd call your friend in the other ticket box and get in trouble for impersonating Sean Connery. You can't even do that anymore.
And people stand in lines and ask for like, yo, can you put layers of butter in my large popcorn? And then
It's
like,
not enough
yo,
butter.
give me a large cola, but half diet, half regular. Trying to
Yeah.
watch my figure.
You gotta watch that other half of the sugar in the cup.
They want aspartame and real sugar, so they're just getting the worst of both worlds. They don't know.
Yeah. And you haven't lived until you had some mom completely get mad at you because the popcorn wasn't filled all the way to the top. And you're like, may or may not have
Top
been.
that motherfucker off.
You're just hung over, man. It's summertime. You're like 16 and a half years old. You're just like, what's going on now? Those adventures. But yeah, those were the 10-10-220 years. So that was my first strong introduction to Terry Bradshaw. Let's see here. Next up, I got Kirk Hammett. His guitar, his ESP used in the One music video, recently sold at auction for over $100,000.
Wow.
So that is out
Wow.
there. And wow, indeed.
Wow.
I guess it's as of this reporting, it's still out there. You can buy out the offer if you have $168,750. So if you got the money out there, you can still grab the ESP guitar from the One video.
As much as I love Kirk Hammett and Metallica, I would buy a number of other guitars with that amount of money if I was going to buy guitars with that money. But I do have a little
cash.
Kirk Hammett bonus. He is one of a handful of special guests appearing on a new album from Carlos Santana. So Kirk Hammett and Carlos Santana are gonna shred some.
United at last.
Yeah, cut some heads.
I'm ready for that shit, man. Extended solos all day. Let's do it. Let's see here. Last one I have is about Brian Johnson's new book, The Lives of Brian, which is coming out on October 26th.
That's got to be a
autobiography.
Riff on Monty Python, right?
Yeah. It stood out to me too. Has to be. But I'm excited about that. I was going to ask you if you have seen his YouTube show where he interviews musicians and kind of hangs out with them and talks about their career.
I think I saw the first one. I've been meaning to revisit the rest, but the first one was Robert Plant, right?
I think so. I saw the one with Lars recently. I'm not sure. I didn't catch the date on it. I think it's more recent, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it was
feel
really
like he
good.
is a pretty good host, and same with Robert Plant, though I feel like has had still a really good sense of humor, and I've actually come to respect people like that even more because Robert Plant like still plays in like small venues, with musicians that aren't famous, and he's been doing that pretty much since he left Zeppelin,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool, and I think he always just is well aware that between age and hard touring and use, he doesn't think he would do the Zeppelin songs the way that, if you called it Led Zeppelin, there'd be a lot of expectation there. So I've always kind of
Hmm.
respected that he's just aware of it. And sometimes he'll play a Zeppelin song, but it usually sounds, pretty different. It's like whatever his band's got vibing on at the time, it will sound more like that.
Right. Yeah, totally. And um, I was digging it too because I mean we grew up with ACDC obviously, and you get to see little interviews, with the guys and Brian. But it's cool to actually see them just like shoot the breeze and talk music. You usually only get like little clips of Brian Johnson in interviews, so to see him actually sit there for some time and just kind of talk music is fun. You can tell still loves it, still loves rock and roll, and that's a cool thing.
Yeah, I think one thing I've found at this point in the game is actually having played music and done some touring is sort of played some bigger shows is a blessing because I really don't get upset when someone sounds different or sounds old or just goes back to just doing it, saying fuck it, do it live like a garage band thing. It's like I don't know, like some people, you have this nostalgia and you have these really high expectations, and I just never have that. I know everybody's a human being and everybody ages, and not everyone's gonna sound like fucking. The song remains the same for their whole fucking life.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta kind of just grow with it. Playing the game is winning, man. Playing's half the battle.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. So I had that. Um, my last quick news story. If you have another one, we can roll into that. I just had this quick one that I brought up because uh, 16 years ago, Marco and I went to see Kiss and Aerosmith in Chicago, in Chi Town. Awesome trip. Um, discovered the Ace Frehley solo album on that trip. But opening that show before Aerosmith and Kiss was the band Saliva playing their new hit song "Click Click Boom."
Wow, I
And now,
completely forgot about that.
20 years later, they've re-recorded their song "Click Click Boom" with their new singer. So if
Wow,
you want to get out there and hear
that's really
Saliva,
what everybody wanted.
"Click Click Boom."
I really didn't want that, but I feel like if you were a fan of the band, you also still wouldn't want that.
Yep. Well, if you're making any 2002 movies about street racing, you're in luck because there's a new version.
I feel like if you were gonna go with a bodily fluid, there's so many cooler things than saliva.
Nah, man. No, that's the coolest. It's the coolest bodily fluid. Why would you name your band after any of the other bodily fluids? Tears?
Saliva,
Uh,
saliva. Pretend your face is a Maserati.
Sweat? Is there a band called Sweat?
There probably is.
There's gotta be. Somebody. They're
I was
sniffing the
reading.
tears. That's a
I was
band.
reading about. I don't know how I got down this rabbit hole, but it was about Gatorade, and or I guess originally whoever made the people that made it first was like the
Hmm.
Florida Gators administration or something, but they said it
Yeah.
just tasted straight up like sweat originally. I was like, ugh,
Mmm.
ugh,
Sweat.
mm.
drink sweat, sweat sweat. Um, that's the Florida Gators trick. It worked, and now it's delicious, and it comes in flavors like Grape Zero, Fierce. Grape Fierce is my current favorite Gatorade. Zero sugar because I'm over 35.
What's his name? Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they are used to like try to mix it with things like, oh, mix it with Mountain Dew because it tastes so nasty. But I feel like that would defeat any of the potential benefits that it would have. But
I heard that's how you make Baja Blast is with
oh,
Gatorade and Mountain Dew.
sounds
I
about
haven't
right.
tried it. The kids on TikTok showed me, and I was
Oh,
like,
really?
well, I want that Baja Blast.
That brought me a memory from when we worked at the movie theater and they first ended Surge. The movie theater
Mm-hmm.
still had like a horde of like the Surge syrup boxes, so you could
Our old
still
boss
get.
stocked up.
That was like the perk, I guess, probably of that first job was you could get
Access to
Surge.
Surge.
You know, for a while, a long while after the first run of Surge ended.
Yeah, I mean, once the shift closed, you could just get one of those trash bags full of popcorn, drag it over to a theater, and watch Fast Too Furious, and drink your Surge and listen to your Saliva CD.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I never did the
Speaking
last
of
part.
TikTok, that's become like the most amusing of the social medias to me, just because it's so random, so zany. Somehow
Mm-hmm.
I see things on there that I missed or that I haven't seen for so long, and I just can't believe that there was like this effort to ban that. Like it's just humorous to me. Like if
One man effort.
if China really wants to see the fever dream that is my TikTok, more power to them.
Yeah, I sent you. We've been sending each other crazy ones. I forget what I sent you something today that was complete lunacy and inside jokes. I don't even think our listeners would know what the hell we were talking about. I forget what it is, but I remember it was super
Yeah,
inside
just
joke.
thinking of a random one. It was like Ernest P. Worrell, Jim Varney, and he was trying to choose between Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow, and that was pretty fucking entertaining.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's anywhere from like cutting edge like new talent and people like getting these huge followings, and then just the most random clips that have like 1,000 views, and it's just insanity.
Yeah,
And
or some
everywhere in
people
between.
that are just straight up, using someone else's material to get a lot of views. So I mean,
Oh
there's
yes.
questionable stuff, but I feel like from a national security perspective, it's mostly harmless, right? I
Oh,
feel
I'm
like
I'm stuck
I've
on it, man.
seen less like questionable or inappropriate stuff on there than I've seen on pretty much any of the other social media. So I don't freaking know.
Oh, it's my go-to, man. If I have like a half hour, an hour, like where I usually just like watch a show or something, and straight to TikTok, see some insanity, maybe see an animal be cute, see somebody be insane, see a bar fight, then you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
night. It's a night out in town when you're stuck in quarantine.
exactly. Yes, my love for it also did was entangled with the 2020 year as we know it, the year
A
of our Lord.
random scroll through TikTok reminds me of like a random college night that we just drank too much and walked around.
Oh yeah, it definitely reminds me of the Facebook days of yore, where you could only college students knew about Facebook, and even the college itself didn't know it existed. So you could just post anything, and it was before everybody's aunts and uncles and moms and dads got on there and were sending
I can't
recipes.
remember if
And
it was true. Wasn't it? I think it was originally like the Zuck was just making an app to decide, if a chick like a hot or not ranking or something.
yes, yes, I
Yeah,
believe so.
and now he's like whatever, this elite power broker of people's data, but he was really just making an app to, for bros to vote if a chick was hot or not.
Yep. And then we almost brought down
That's
democracy.
that's reality, folks.
Oh yeah, I remember it. I had to go through because I was so curious. Yep. Oh, it looks like yeah. All right, we got some TikTok catching up to do after this. We'll do it on our own time, folks. Did you have any
Yeah, this is
more?
not
This is
it's not a
not. This isn't
TikTok
TikTok time.
show. No.
All right.
It's not rock talk. It's heavy radio. And without
That was
further
our
ado,
TikTok for
we
the
got
time.
heavy radio 28 playlist tracks. I'm
Yes, we
kicking
do.
it off strong as fuck with Grim Reaper, Fear No Evil. Fear No Evil's the
Yeah.
second studio album from British heavy metal band Grim Reaper. Came out in 1985. Good year under the British independent label Ebony Records. All the tracks were written by Nick Bocott and vocalist Steve Grimmett. This is Fear No Evil. This song always gets stuck in my head and is just a rip roaring rocker, heavy metal glory.
Yeah, I remember when you first brought that CD out. I think it was when we had the original radio show, and we were pretty versed in the metal, and we were listening to the bands we still do. We had our core going. I remember Grim Reaper was one of the first bands that stood out as just like, holy shit, what is this? And like, I couldn't believe that we had never found it, and you brought it
Yeah.
out, and I was like, so fucking good.
I mean, I guess that's part of why we do heavy radio, part of why we still love heavy metal. It's like every once in a while I'll find a band like that was releasing albums in the 80s that I feel like are up there with some of the strong bands that, are more household names, and it's like, wow, that's it's just the crazy the heavy metal gold that you can find to this day.
Yeah. My first pick is Merciful Fate with Nuns Have No Fun. A beautiful ballad about nuns and why we should respect them. Just kidding. Great song, great riffs, and of course, the Merciful Fate dudes don't disappoint there. Some of the most catchy vocals the King has ever laid down, in my opinion. It's just grooving. It's so Merciful Fate, and it's something only they can do their way. And it's a
Yeah,
great song.
that early Merciful Fate is amazing. I mean, I love the whole career, and looking so much forward to the new record. But yeah, something about those early tracks are just
There was like
fucking
a groove.
magical.
Yeah, basically. Hell yeah.
My
What's your
next track is coming from Wolf with Shoot to Kill. This is from Feeding the Machine, is the 8th studio album by Swedish heavy metal band Wolf. Came out last year, about a little over a year ago, via Century Media Records. Still cranking this one strong. If you haven't, definitely turn it up. It's Wolf with Shoot to Kill. Great band, great song. Crank it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they are great. I'm excited about that. Um, Next track I have is Dio with Prisoner of Paradise. I believe this was a B side off of Master of the Moon, which is a hugely influential album to Marco and I. And so this song, Prisoner of Paradise, I just caught it on the remastered version. Great song. I'm surprised it wasn't on the record. It's one of those. I literally don't think I've heard a Dio song, B side or main track, that I've not liked. There's just something about the Dio ingredients and the recipe that he just never disappoints. So definitely check out Prisoner of Paradise. I was able to find this on Spotify, but I'm sure you guys can find it out there. But definitely seek it out because it's a great Dio song.
Yeah, I have it on. It was like a Dio compilation album, I think, that came out after he passed, and it was on there. But yeah, it looks like it was on the Japanese edition of Master of the Moon.
Nice.
Great song, and yeah, some. Um, yeah, I love that album.
Hell yeah. There's some heavy ass shit in there. Craig Goldie.
Yeah,
The Craig Goldie riffage.
Craig Goldie, Jeff Pilson was on
Yeah,
bass, if
yes.
I remember right.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
yeah, and I know during that tour he played some Rainbow and some Sabbath songs, and Simon Wright on drums. Simon Wright,
Simon
always
Wright!
I feel like, is there really, has AC/DC ever had a drummer that you wouldn't want, like, in your band? I really don't think so. Like, fuck.
No.
Chris Slade, Simon Wright, like, all of it.
Yeah, it's just there's a groove that the ACDC alumni have, the drummers have that very very few have. Just that $1 million beat, man. The four on the floor. Let's just get it. They just have a way with it. Um, and we were lucky enough to see that tour. So
Um, yeah, so I do recant that statement because I guess they had, multiple drummers um, before like 1975. So I probably wouldn't want those guys, but everybody else, Phil Rudd, the guys after that.
that was a very Norm Macdonald correction of you.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want
Hello, real cops.
Cullen Burgess or Ron Carpenter or Russell
What's
Coleman
wrong with Colin and Ron and
or
Russell?
Noel Taylor or Peter Clack. I might not want any of those guys, but all the other guys I would
All the other
want.
guys that are not those guys.
Yes. I guess, did you know someone played saxophone in AC/DC? I didn't even know that.
I did
Larry
not know that.
Van Creet played, apparently, saxophone.
I mean sax.
Or maybe he just happens to play saxophone and he played a different instrument. I don't know.
I'm curious now. Now we got side. That's for the after show search. I'm racking my brain right now. I'm mentally trying to think of a saxophone or anything. All I know is bagpipes on the first record.
Yes.
I think there's some sex sounds somewhere on the "Cover You with the Oil" song. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's an instrument.
Mhm.
There's a lot of the secretive sounds in those late '80s.
Yeah,
AC/DC
apparently there's a trend of saxophone players covering AC/DC songs. That's what like there's a Thunderstruck sax cover. I'm probably going to listen to that later.
That's an intent. All right. I'm trying to think of that beginning riff with
I
all
always thought,
saxophone.
metal has so many places it can still go. I always thought some sax would, maybe be interesting, but I can't think of it ever really happening.
I don't feel like the saxophone has gotten its fair due after the '80s. I feel like everyone was hot on the sax in the '80s in all genres,
it really
and then
hit
everyone
its peak
put the
with
sax.
I think it hit its peak with Careless Whisper, George Michael. It really
Yeah.
peaked.
Yeah.
Then it kind of lay dormant for a while until maybe Beastie Boys, Brass Monkey.
I'm trying to think of that one song. I can't. I can't.
What
think
are you
fast enough
thinking of?
off the
Who can it be now by Men at Work?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking of?
No. Baker Street. What is the Baker Street
it's
song?
the one the saxophone makes you feel sexy.
Yeah, the sax that makes you feel sexy. Like Baker's.
Or maybe you're talking about Kenny motherfucking G.
Man, I was talking about Main Street with Bob Seger. That's a good
Were you
sax.
thinking about Foreigner Urgent?
No, but now that I am, that isn't also. See, look at the saxophone used to be a big hit, and then everyone was like, "Nah, no more sax. We're done with it."
Yeah, New York's all right if you like saxophones.
Yeah. Fear. It's a good band.
Yes,
They should be on. They should be on the list next week.
they should.
I've lost.
Speaking of this fever dream, wasn't Lee Ving from Fear like he was in? Wasn't he in the Clue movie? The Clue movie?
I was thought you were gonna say MD-45 with
Oh yes,
Dave Mustaine.
he definitely was in that. But I think, yeah, he was Mr. Body in the Clue movie with Tim Curry.
That's insane. I don't believe you.
Yeah. So he was.
That's a crazy motherfucker.
Lee Ving.
Great. That fear record is.
Oh
lethal.
shit. That Clue movie is lethal. I forgot Christopher Lloyd was in that shit. What? I gotta rewatch that.
I've never seen Clue. That probably is a bad thing that I've never seen it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's got
I
Martin
might have to
Mull,
rent it.
the Martin Mull, Tim Curry,
The
Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean. What the fuck?
I heard they filmed multiple endings of that, and so if you went to a different screening, you might see a different ending.
Yeah, I
So
think
I hear.
that's. Yeah, I heard tell of that.
That's good shit, man.
Yeah, I think we
I've
have tracks still after
I've
all
lost
that.
track. I've
I've
lost
lost
track of the
track
tracks.
of what
I've done
track we're
two.
on.
I've done two.
Oh, okay. I have Eternal Champion from Austin Tejas. Have you ever seen those cats?
Not live. I know of them though. Yeah.
With Skull Seeker. And fuck yeah, this is just some heavy metal glory. Um, if you get the chance to see this Majesty live, do it when shows come back around. Eternal Champion with Skull Seeker.
Hell yeah. My first one up is it's a newer one. This is the band Purgatory, and the song is "Grave of Sorrow." Their full album, their full sophomore album, just came out. I've talked about Purgatory before on the show. They're super impressed me. I think they are a band to watch for sure. Just, just brutal, grooving. Like, definitely have to be Pantera fans on some level. It's just aggressive, just straight up like punch a hole in the window metal, just straight up metal with a period. And not a lot of bands are doing that, and it's super aggressive and fun and fast and creative. And I just think Purgatory is going straight up. So this Choco Puffs through the roof. The song is called "Grave of Sorrow" from Purgatory's second album. So definitely check these guys out. They're from the states, from the Midwest. So definitely check out Purgatory and their new album.
Kevin Nealon.
Through the roof, guys. Through the roof.
Check out Hot Off the Press, Stop the Press, Vicky Vale. This is Flotsam and Jetsam with Burn the Sky. Brand new fucking burner from Flotsam and Jetsam. This is coming from Blood in the Water. It's coming out this June 4th. You can pre-order it now via AFM Records. Yeah, Flotsam and Jetsam are up there with those cats that just seem to be getting arguably better and better.
The Testament Curse. They just keep getting better somehow. Hell yeah. I'm excited for that. My next track is the band is called Motor Jesus. They're from Germany. This song is called Fire Breather. It's straight up old school metal, man. Just fun, like drag race cars, muscle car vibe. Definitely good music to speed to. So yeah, definitely check these cats out. Just straight up old school metal, man. Motor Jesus with Fire Breather.
Hell yeah. My next track it's the new track from Evile, and I've always thought that was how you said the name anyway, but Evile, the song's called Gore, and it's featuring none other than Brian Posehn on backing vocals. And
awesome.
This is Hell Unleashed is the new album. You can pre-order it via Napalm Records. It's out April 30th. Crank it up to hear some Brian Posehn backing vocals.
Awesome.
Evile with Gore.
Hell yeah. My last pick, another up and coming band named As Everything Unfolds out of the UK. This song is called On the Inside. Really cool band. Really creative. It's definitely more the modern metal sound, but it's still like a real standout sound. They don't just blend in with everything that's kind of coming out right now. That sometimes happens. They're really unique, have the cool, really catchy vocals, and yeah, everything. They're really I've heard about them. They're getting some buzz and everything, and that's what made me check out their new song in the first place. So yeah, I think they're poised to take off as well and continue going up. So definitely check out As Everything Unfolds and their new song On the Inside. So yeah, there's a lot of bands I'm ready to catch once we can go start catching those shows. So definitely watching out for these cats.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds awesome, and I can't stop thinking about how we first, you know, enjoyed some of Brian Posehn's work. A little PC game called Star Warped from 1997.
Parody games.
I still think about that. Sometimes I'm like, how is this real? It was real because it was Brian Posehn just riffing with Robbie Rist, who was he was
Michelangelo, I
fucking
think.
Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles, and he was Mondo Gecko on the cartoon. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
he
I
was
remember
Michelangelo in all three of the first trilogy, and yeah, but it
that
was
was a good
just
game.
it was just those guys being fucking hilarious for like everything you clicked on in the game, and then just
Yeah.
it was very interesting to watch. Obviously, that was the early peak of Brian Posehn's career.
There was. And CD-ROM games.
It was a peak of computer technology.
Peak Brian Posehn, peak CD-ROM.
Peak computer technology.
And they made a game called Piss with John Goodman. And then they made a game called X Fools that we didn't have a new enough version of Windows and it wouldn't run on either one of our PCs.
Yeah, I tried so goddamn hard, and it was like I really wanted to see that John Goodman content, but it was always fucking up.
Yeah, this was before YouTube, kids. See, there was no YouTubing X
It was
Fools.
before
or Piss.
fancy gaming computers. You just had like
Yeah,
the
you just dealt with
family
it.
computer that was like, you know, could barely run like fucking the encyclopedia.
You just had to hope for the best, man. Just hope it worked.
You had a fucking dial up trying to fucking drop the needle and prey on some Alien versus Predator.
Basically, that's the best you could do, and you
It's like,
liked
no, we can barely handle Diablo, and you're trying to do Alien vs Predator. Good luck with that.
it. Yeah,
All of a
aliens
sudden,
were
there's just like a predator in the fucking corner,
Yeah.
just like glitching the fuck out.
Yeah, no, it was insanity. We loved it. We still stayed up till like 5 in the morning. Got in trouble for doing so. Good times. CD-ROMs, kids. You really
Oh,
put
yeah.
those computers to work back then.
Star Warps.
Star Warped. Check it out on YouTube or buy it if you can find it somehow. I don't know how.
I think you found it. Was it on the
Did
eBay or the Amazon?
That must have been the eBay or the Amazon.
Yeah, it's a sealed copy. I still have it.
Oh shit! Awesome. That was a long time in itself. Time. What is time? Even the in between times were a long time ago.
I know. Wow.
Time.
Heavy
Oh,
Radio
hell yeah.
28. This is a Star Warped podcast.
Star Warped
exclusively
edition.
from now on.
Yep. 28 was enough for metal. Now it's time for Star Warped.
Only parody games.
You're gonna listen to every damn word we have to say. Well, hell yeah. Well, we got a lot of fun music this week, a lot of fun news, a lot of fun things coming out in the rock and metal world.
Yeah,
A lot of
I
stuff
love
to
it.
look forward to.
You know, I love it. A random week in 2021, still battling with the pandemic, and just so much good news on the metal and rock and roll front. So, lots of stuff to look forward to, and yeah, we'll keep cranking it.